We'll start here at the new entrance to this field, and just growing here on the ditch we have a lovely late flowering clematis with a lovely pink flower. You can see flowering there and then one that hasn't flowered yet. This is called Princess Diana, and it's one of those ones where you cut it down completely at the end of the season and then it'll pop back up again. So it's one of the ones that flowers in June, July. So you treat it differently to the ordinary clematis. Okay, you can see some unfinished stuff there covered in black plastic, but we'll go down in this direction by the stream. Lots of lady's mantle in flower, Alchemilla mollis there with the yellow flowers. I'll just show you the stream or the pond that's still a work in progress, and then the wilder part of the garden beyond the hedge there. So we'll go down towards the pond because the sun is out. Actually, we'll go down this grass path and we'll come up the other path. So we've got the kind of wild meadow mix here on the right, and it's very kind of it's not very dense grass, and then there are a couple of flowers coming up through it, but nothing major. And I can see now with the sunlight all of that is in shade, so maybe if we look in this direction, so we're looking back up along the stream, we have the yellow over there of the Lysimachia, and then this is all Alchemilla mollis. And then this thing here is a flower that was here already, Mimulus, that was here growing in the kind of bog garden. That's a lovely Acer, Japanese maple, kind of red bark and then red veins through it. There's a little carnation, a dianthus coming out there. Dahlia coming up there. We're trying something new with the dahlias this year. Adham heard on Gardener's World about how if you cut the lead, it'll make it bush out a bit more. So that'll work there. This is a variegated Sisyrinchium, and then this is the ordinary Sisyrinchium here. Flower most of the summer, self-seeds very well. Okay, then we'll come down here. That's a witch hazel that had lovely yellow flowers in February, and then just coming up underneath it they're called oxalis. They have this kind of trefoil leaf. This lily here, I don't know what it's called, it's just finishing. There was a whole bunch of them, but you can see there's just one of them left now. This blue water lily still in flower. That we've gotten a good month out of that, haven't we? And the leaf of that has a beautiful blue, dark blue base to it, especially early in the season. So it's a really pretty thing. And then you can see the bulrushes beyond, but a miniature bulrush. They're really pretty. Okay, let's go down here. This is the mulberry, in honor of Adham's ancestors who had mulberry orchards. Now, they had white mulberry, which is what this is a dark mulberry, like the silkworm eats the other variety, according to the books. But that hasn't fruited yet. So their mulberry orchards were for silkworm production, silk production. That's a walnut that's doing very well. And then we have a second walnut there. And this lovely purple thing, we don't know what it's called. We just call it Claudio's thing because our friend Claudio had it growing in his garden. And his friend Morgan planted it for him. So anyway, very nice haze of colour. The euphorbias are finished, but you can see they're still attractive. And then with the Alchemilla mollis, and actually just coming up there, you've seen them before, is the feverfew. So that's very spready, but a lovely thing. And this thing here in the foreground is going to be gorgeous. I'll film it again in a couple of weeks. But you can see little flower head appearing on it. And as I say, they'll be lovely in a couple of weeks. Okay, that's a crab apple there, full of fruit. The Lysimachia in the foreground with the yellow flower, and then we're looking back up towards the stream. The stream is really hidden now, but you can see those yellow mimulus flowers. They're actually growing in the water. The water lilies are coming on very well. We have one actually, our oldest one, which is here in the foreground, is not doing so well at all, but the one in the background there, like these two are temporary ones in pots, but the one in the background has a smaller leaf and it's very delicate. It doesn't have any flowers yet, but this one here in the middle has a flower. It's just not open yet. Let's have a quick look down, go down along this path. Oh yeah, what's that Adam flowering
Francoa.
there? Francoa. See that flower there? And that's the foliage that goes with it. And then a geranium here. That's Claudio's purple thing by the walnut. The walnut's a very attractive tree in terms of the colour of the bark and the leaves. Okay, we'll go over the little bridge here. And we've got the other pond, so you're looking up along the garden now. This is a primula, and this is a wild thing that Adam just dug out of the path along there's a greenway in Coachford, and you can see it's got a lovely pink flower. Then this is a Persicaria. We have kind of a pink one of those up in the other garden that you would have seen, but this is a white one. And I'll just show you a water lily. It's in flower, but you can see it's still in its pot. So unfortunately the label is next to it, but it's got a lovely, lovely flower. And the one down that end is in flower as well. Let's go down and see the Trollius. That's another kind of creeping Lysimachia. It's a lovely one, yellow flower. We've got the primulas. They actually have a strong scent, that yellow one. It looks a little bit like a cowslip. Florinda primula. Ooh, the briars are coming in here on my right. Here's the Trollius, lovely colour. A relative of the buttercup. Lovely flower. And then these are, gosh, two big flowers on that water lily. They're still just in a pot, like they haven't actually been put in their proper place. And this is that Florinda primula. Okay, and those are Ligularia, and a different version of the same thing just here. Okay, what's the best? I think we better go back. It's the safest thing in terms of the camera rocking, and there's more to see on the way back. So that's the Persicaria. That's a nice little saxifrage there. And then this is where the water exits the garden. So we have 7 of these little pools, and it drops down over the ditch just beyond those stones there. But not much flow in it at the moment. Got the lots of spiky things down here between the Echiums, the Digitalis, and then Claudio's thing, which actually you can see is full of bees. Okay, let's speed up because the battery's going. So come up across here and you can see the Fox and Cubs is just finishing, and then the purple Ligularia behind it, that nice little Japanese Acer maple there, brown sugar, and lovely things here. So the big hosta, the carpet thyme, both the purple and the white, and then this thing in between is, we call it Santolina, I think. I think it's no, it's not Artemis.
No, it's a lavender, cotton lavender.
Cotton lavender. And then the Ligularia, Mrs. Mannix's horse chestnut tree, which is growing by the day. The hazels, the oak. This is a gorgeous thing here. Actually, two nice things. So first of all, this Astilbe. Pretty much seeing it at its best there in flower. And then these little unusual lilies. They're almost like a funnel from a ship. There's one and two there, with this unusual kind of trefoil leaf that goes with it. So we thought they had actually died because we bought them in May last year, but they'd obviously been kind of forced, and they didn't actually make an appearance until there the end of June. So we'll come back up here. There's the Castle Townsend myrtle, and here, to show you, it's actually full of flower buds. So last year we only had 1 or 2 flowers, but you can see it's going to be full of flowers this year. So it'll be really good. And that's a lovely little hosta there, just about to flower. That's a version of the same thing. And then one of my favorites, this hosta called Purple Heart, which should also flower but hasn't sent up anything yet. And that brings us back up to the entrance. Go over the little bridge here and up these new steps past the contorted hazel, which is beginning to show signs of life after being in a pot for 20 years. And that brings us up back up to Princess Diana. And look who's here to greet us.